Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another one of my Ascension messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. Today, I am going to be channeling through some more messages about something that's just happened this morning, honestly, and last night in a dream. So I'm gonna end up shifting into a tribe that was the fish tribe that came to Gaia many eons ago to help us. They were one of the tribes that came to help us actually learn about agriculture, maths, all sorts of like astronomy, all sorts of things. And they actually visited many different places, including European places, to help guide them to be able to handle the logical brain being in charge, because we were no longer connected to this right hemisphere, which is where the soul resided. And so through this lesson of separating ourselves from source energy oneness, and not being telepathic anymore, these numerous tribes came down and helped us. The reason why I'm going to be talking about this today, it just sort of happened. Like last night, I was dreaming, and this is what often happens with me. I'll have a dream, and then I'll have this coincidence, and it's almost like my guides are leading or guiding me through signs. These coincidences that happen after the dream. So this is why I'm going to end up bringing all this up now, and I'm going to start channeling in and seeing what else comes out. So last night I had this dream, and actually I just realized that my candle isn't burning. So I like my candle to be burning, but that's interesting that it's not burning and I've run out of matches. Okay, we'll just leave that unburnt. That's how it's supposed to be. It's how it's supposed to be. Yes. So last night I was dreaming of, they took me to a place where there was these dolphins giving birth, and there was quite a few of us, and we were supposed to observe, take note, take photos, enjoy the whole scene. But when I got there, there was like one puddle where these dolphins were giving birth, and I got the distinct feeling, no, do not take photos, do not come to this puddle, do not go near these dolphins that are giving birth. And I respected that and moved on. So I know that this is something that is hidden, that is coming to light, and it's something to do with dolphins. Now, dolphins represent playful energy, abundance coming in, all of that sort of stuff. So you can see it from different levels in a dream. But because this one really stuck out in my mind, it kept replaying. And when I did forget it, it came up after I woke up in a message on the internet. So it just kept coming back into my face. Anyway, in the dream, I decided not to go near this puddle that was, these dolphins were specifically giving birth to this new energy coming in, and that was to be hidden. No one was allowed to take photos. No one was allowed to do anything around that area. But then there was other ones that were being born over the other side. And then as they were being born, we were allowed to go take photos, play with them, enjoy them. You know, it was quite a fun kind of a thing. And so I did. Then I woke up. Then I ended up there was a message that was online, something to do with dolphins, and that just reminded me of the dream. And then it was something to do with abundance coming in and moving towards new goals and new beginnings and all sorts of things like that, which was very similar to the message that I was getting in the dream. Then I left it all and I just went on my YouTube channel because I was going to start setting all this up. And there was this little short, and it had this kind of a being in the water. And I don't know why, I just decided to click on it. And it was on this tribe called the Dogon tribe. Now, when I was working with the elder many, many, many years ago, she brought up the Dogon tribe, the Dogon tribe. The Dogon tribe is a tribe in Africa, and they were visited by these fish beings. And so they said that this big roaring lightning thunder came down and these fish beings appeared. They had to be in water, submersed in water, but they could also levitate onto the land and teach the tribes. The coolest thing, I would say, the coolest thing about this is that we cannot deny their presence and their wisdom, because on the cave in the Dogon tribes, they had scratched images of the system where they came from, and it was of Sirius A, but then they had a small star, Sirius B, and they even had the orbit going around the star in this image. And so Sirius B was a tiny dwarf star that could not be visible by the eye. It wasn't even known about way back then at all. No one. And so when they found out about this, they were like, how did these people know about the Sirius B, its orbit, everything about it? And that's where these beings came from, the system of the star Sirius B. Now I'm gonna just tap more into that as I'm talking about it. I'm really feeling like these beings are going to, there is going to be something that's hidden is going to come to light. And that's why in the dream, I wasn't allowed to go near this new birthing of something, but it is going to come to light. And I do feel, being that it was to do with the dolphins and then being taken to this Dogon tribe, I haven't even thought of them for ages, for years. And for that to come into my reality straight after the dream, there's something new coming in where they are coming back. And I feel they are orbiting, like they're literally saying to me, they're orbiting Gaia at the moment. They're orbiting Earth. They're seeing the progress, that watching the changes. There's something profoundly interesting happening with their understanding of their part of the journey of humanity's consciousness developing, which is literally helping them as well understand their consciousness and their closeness to source energy, and how we can break away from such a intense situation that we're in now. Just how diverse humanity is, to be able to be in such a high pressure environment that it's showing me coal, being made into a diamond. And then for us to do that gives them the wisdom or the knowledge within themselves that they can break away from any diversity themselves as well. That this is actually, when they're watching something coming from such a low vibration and being able to, through pressure, withstand the pressure and not just turn into a lump of coal, but turn into a bright shining diamond, then they are going, wow, this is something that any being can do. And then it makes it understandable that anything can, from their own self-core wisdom, decide to break free, can break free. There is no human on this planet that needs to sit, like, even if you're sitting in the worst position and you're in the most pressure, it could be that when you finally let go, you finally decide, I am not doing this story anymore. I am like, nothing worked for me before, so I might as well just break free and allow myself to be taken by the energies that are bringing me into more of a love vibration. Just see where that goes. See where I have to really look at myself and unpeel the layers and stuff. And they're like showing me that in itself is, they're literally kudos to humans for doing this, for having the ability to do this. Is they're very happy that we, and with that, they put us in a higher esteem than what they thought we were in when they came down to help in the first place. Now they're putting us in a higher esteem of understanding that we are we have this ability to be pressurized so much and yet break free. Also, they're bringing me to the fact that in this pressure, many light workers that have already done a lot of work are going to feel like speaking out more. They're going to feel like becoming more authentically them and speaking out more and showing their true selves to the world in a way that their mission, their goal, their mission, and everything was all about. That's of importance at the moment. Also, in these new energies right now, that's hitting us right now, because this huge solar flare happened a few days ago, and it's really hitting us now. It might feel like you're almost going schizo, and like you're going back and forth from one, the logical way of doing things and that being in charge, and the stories that we get into, and we're blaming everybody else and all of that sort of story, and then flip back into bliss and, oh my God, I feel centered again, I feel really good. That's actually part of the journey that's happening, that's meant to happen to light workers at the moment. So don't be afraid of it. It's literally because we're coming closer and closer and closer to the source of ourselves, and it does become sometimes a lot more intense in those moments. That also telling me that the so-called witches, or the people that were holding on to information, or the magic of being able to communicate to Gaia, to the elementals, to the plant life, to be able to get the herbal remedies and all of that. They held on to this magic and the codes of that for so long, life after life, and been persecuted and persecuted and persecuted, because the logical mind was in charge at that moment, and that reflected the leaders that were in charge being in that logical state of awareness. So then they would end up persecuting those that were still in the magic of everything, and those ones are rising up as well now, and they are going to speak up. They are going to speak up big time when they do, because they felt the squeeze through life after life after life, and so they know, they have also, even though they went into victimization through that because they had to lose themselves, but still held on to that code of, I know that there's something really special here that we can connect to Gaia. They always held those DNA openings for others, them to give birth, and them to give birth to starseeds, to people that were now being born now to be able to fire up and be able to become more. So it's a huge wake-up call of specific humans that hold missions DNA that is connected to Gaia, and now Gaia's like, understanding how just brilliant humans are, and acknowledging their gifts and wanting to communicate more with us as we wake up, because she wants to impart a lot of wisdom onto more of us, to be able to have that connection back again, so that we can, as the system falls away, and the system will fall away, all of those that were in charge through only their logical mind being in charge will be falling away quite it's going to be a process, but there's going to be moments of radicalness where they intensely fall away, and the uplift of those that have been holding codes of connecting back to earth and holding the magic that we had, but were persecuted life after life, being that they're called witches or whatever you want to call them. I see them as just energies or humans that had that DNA. They held on to that code. That was their mission, to hold on to that code through the downfall of the intuition, and they just had little snippets that they would be able to that they could bleed through. And the tarot was one of those snippets. Things like that. You're working with energies and herbs and stuff were still snippets that still held magic enough for the whole time of the logical brain being in charge, or those that were in charge being only logifying everything and trying to condemn us with their controlling nature, because it was meant to happen. There was no wrong or right here. We needed to learn all about that side of ourselves as well. I'm not dismissing anyone or any adventure that anyone has gone through as bad, good, or anything like that. They don't want to do that. These beings, these dugons that are of fish people, and they are enlightened as well. They know a lot more. They know a lot more for humanity, and they want to share a lot more wisdom. They came here to help us, guide us, when we did lose that intuitive side of ourselves, but they also know a lot more about the intuitive side, so that they can actually come back now and help us lift our game into connecting back to Gaia again from intuition, trusting out the magic within ourselves and our connection, loving ourselves enough to be connected again, connecting to the animals and understanding the fish and the dolphins and the sea life and all of that. The Atlantis age coming back, but it will all be different. It won't be the same. Don't try to hold on to a story that happened in the history of mankind. That happened in a specific energy for humanity. And now we are combining two. We're combining land and fish or and water together. We are combining everything and being able to move through both as well. The wisdom of the water that holds so much wisdom in it as well. That has been almost like they're showing me there's specific places in the water where almost like dolphins gather or whales gather, and they literally can feel the shift in the water of wisdom. And they will do this dance where they spiral up and they sing as well. And that holds that vibration of that wisdom that was held in the water as well for that area. And then we can, humans, when we start to become clearer in our mind, will be able to tap into that wisdom as well. That's why they said, okay, I had a trip that I went to go see the whales many years ago, and before the trip I got communication from the whales that I was going to see a female and her son, a female and a baby boy dolphin, and they were talking to me before I actually went on the boat the day after. And when I went on the boat, that's exactly what happened. We actually had the female swimming right next to me, and then the babies jumped up out of the water. The baby boy jumped out of the water right in front of me. And they said that they did that so that they realized that I had this, I could also connect with them as well, because there is this information that's held in water, because water holds information very easily. It can, and then we can tap into it because we are much water as well. So we have this ability to connect with the wisdom of the water that was held from Atlantis to be able to bring through the magic, to be able to understand more of how to live in harmony and trust Gaia again, because she is both land and water, where the logical mind will more be suited to the land and building. Even though intuition will always play a part, there is a specific. And God, I'm literally feeling very lightheaded here while I'm channeling this at the moment. But there's this understanding that's going to happen between. There's also beings that are already living in beyond the sea, but under the sea. They are already there, and they want to be able to connect too with the humans that are living on the land, so that because they want us to. There's an understanding that's going to meet where we work together to be able to shift us out of the control mechanism that we've been pulled into, that we now don't have to listen to any of that we can trust in them, because there's a trust game that's going to develop next with humanity's consciousness, a trust game, something new, because we're starting to come back and peel back the layers of that program that was pulled over us, which was pulling us into never trusting anyone outside, because we didn't trust ourselves. We didn't trust who we are. So there's this whole new game that's going to develop through our intuition opening up, us being able to connect to it, the Nomans. They called the Dugon tribe called them that. Nomans. But they were called many things. They were called many things, not just that. And you could also find them in the ancient Greeks and that sort of thing. You could also find them in that as well, because they had they were taught all about the Roman ties, and they were taught that as well. Yeah, really interesting stuff. Anyway, so there's this whole new game that's going to be coming up. Oh, I just have to have a little bit of a breather here. Yeah. And that's, I said, why they were bringing me to Atlantis in this ring. This ring, it was like a big ring with these points of energy that would expand. That was created in the Atlantis times. So when we do trip up over these ancient ruins in oh gosh, they're literally showing me, is it USOs, submerged flying objects, unidentified submerged flying objects, going into the Atlantis and clearing the sand, because it will uncover some more information of Atlantis and these devices that were used in Atlantis. A lot of the Atlantis stuff evaporated through the energy that was, because it was made out of energy, and when the humans disconnected, the energy fell, and when the energy fell, the mechanisms fell too. But there was some that was still solidified and kept underneath a lot of sand, like miles of sand. And then now they're showing me these USOs going into the they want to connect with humanity again as we start to raise our vibration and understanding of who we truly are. And so to awaken us, they will uncover some specific things that connected to that that period of time, Atlantis Lemuria time, that were flooded over through an emotional uproar of humanity's consciousness going through this guilt that led them to only trusting their logical side of themselves. And with emotion comes this flood of water that covered the connection that we had, which was through the Atlantis time. And then we can see what was developed through that time with these new mechanisms or new something coming up, something new coming in to show us how they did it. And it's not to say to use exactly that, but to show the value in the magic that they had through connecting with Gaia and understanding the vibration of the water and how it moved. And now they're showing me like sonar or something, a vibration of the water that would clear it, clarify it, and allow new growth to come up. There's no more needing to, everything was abundant. There's way more abundance. And when we connect back into that, the abundance will start flowing again. Places like New Zealand that were dredged, like they literally dredged the islands between the South Island and the North Island. They completely dredged the sea and between those islands, and it's just almost dead. But there is going to be reawakenings where they can be reawoken again. And it is through humanity's consciousness of understanding their piece of the puzzle in this that they end up bringing back their imagination to focus in on what they want to see on this planet and use their energy together in harmony to clear the water as well. There's something to do with some mechanism though that's going to help, or something new being created. They want to give us this information, but they want it to be open, like a free information, like a information that's not just saying one thing is going to happen, because it is up to us in the end how we're going to develop all of this, how we're going to open the new doors to this new understanding of Gaia, Earth as a being, and the connection that humanity plays in nature, with nature, and coming back into the 13 moons, the 13 months, the pineal gland being open again in humanity's consciousness, which is why that said to me that I'm bringing up the classroom this Monday coming to do with the gateways being open, with our own gateways being open. They want me to do that because that's going to help those that, anyway, if you attend the class, eventually I'll probably bring the information out for all, but at the moment I'm doing it in a classroom because it feels right. It just feels right at the moment for me. So I'm following that gut instinct for myself. But there is these humans that are light workers that have information because their soul's closer to the Sirius A, Sirius B, closer to Pleiades, closer to our Arcturians and Lyrians and the Vegans and all sorts of different beings. There's actually way more than what we have held in our logical mind. There is way more. There's hybrids. There's Dyson stars. There's all sorts of different amazing things out there that souls are born now through those that held the codes. Many witches held the codes. We were called witches that would feel very victimized, and then they would have given birth to the star seeds because they had that opening of the star seeds being able to at least connect still to their planets, off-world planets, and so you might have had a parent that felt very victimized or had gone through a very hard time but still was strong within themselves. That is an indication of starseed been born too, because that's one of the better ones for a starseed to be born through, because they come straight from those planets, straight from those dimensions, straight from the higher frequencies of living in a more blissful situation, connected to all. And so for them to be born, they had to be born through someone who was strong enough to hold the code life after life after life after life. Now, when you free yourself as a star seed or a star person or whatever you want to call it, somebody that's actually holding certain codes to help guide humanity, we're all source energy in the end, just going on a beautiful adventure. We're no better or no worse than anyone else on this planet, but we've got specific things that we need to open up. And when we do that, we're literally freeing our parents, we're freeing our ancestors as well, because our ancestors that came before us, when we shine our lights, they look at us and go, oh my God, look what I gave birth to. Wow, I must be special as well. And they're freaking special. And the same with those that we give birth to as well. Everyone, then the people that we loved and the people that were in our lives, they all start waking up, because we've found this core love within ourselves, and we've been authentic with who we are, and we're shining, and we're bringing in abundance, and we're living with Gaia in harmony, and we're starting to become more of a guide for humanity, and moving through our mission as we were supposed to, and then waking up more and more people. And as they wake up, we all start to, no one wants to just wake up on their own. We've got to bring in everybody with us, right? Because then we have this beautiful place to live in, that's of trust and love and connection. So yeah, so much information at the moment that's pouring through me from these beings. So it's the Dugon tribe, if you want to go look that up, and the Nomans are the beings, but also they came, look up the Greek fish. I don't know the name of them at the moment, but yeah, they came in. They're telling me there was a few places that they came to. Yeah. Water runs through everything. Water runs through everything, and water can be shifted with intention. And their intention was put in the water many eons ago, and that's why they're showing me those whales doing this, because they will hit a space where the wisdom is. And so the wisdom will always be held there, and the whales helped as well. And the dolphins. So when we come into a place that has wisdom, if we come with an unbalanced mind into that space, or if we go into that place where there is all that wisdom, if we're unbalanced, we won't notice much difference at all. It's only when we come into balance of allowing our intuition to have a say and connection to the soul, to understand the language of the water. There is language within the water. There is something within the water that is going to come forth. It is also held in the rainbows, because the rainbows is water with being reflected by light. And then we're not talking about the rainbows that reflected off the metal that there is being pumped into the air by those that are in charge at the moment. Not for long though. We're talking about the natural form rainbows, literally held information to do with the chakras of Gaia and the connection with the rainbow and the colors, that it could be red. And there's just so much more information once we open up our intuitive side. The sound of the water, there's just so much more information. That's why they said when you hear running water, it can actually put you into a calming place. It's like white noise that chills you out, brings you back into balance. Specific how it falls though. There's vibrations and sounds and is depending on the height. If it's a natural waterfall, of course, it's better because it's already naturally in balance with Gaia herself. Gee, there's just so much information coming through. So I'm also going to if you do want to go into those classes, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Stephen, but if you do want to come into the classes, it's only $20. And if you can't be there at that time, then I can give you the link. And in any case, I'm bringing up a lot of information now for free. And that will keep happening. I'm never going to stop. It's never going to stop. This is who I am, and I know that now. So it's never going to stop. I can't stop. I literally can't. This is my path, and this is where I go. So I will keep on channeling through as much as what I can. But there are moments where they tell me, make a class out of this. I have to support my bucket as well. I have to support my own self as well, and that's very important. I am going to be on Jeff Manners' site again, channel. Sorry, again, I'm still in a bit of an airy-fairy space on Saturday, and he's asked me to do some channeling then. So if you've got any questions, you can ask it in the chat bar of his, Jeff Manor, which is always live on, he has lots of people coming in at 15-minute intervals, and he's asked me to channel for them next time. So I will open up for that and see what I can help people with in their queries and questions about what's coming, and allow my guides to come in. So yeah, interesting though, I've never channeled through the Numans. I've never channeled through the Dugons, ancient aliens that came, the fish people, before. So it's actually making me really lightheaded. I'm feeling very lightheaded at the moment through this. But the clap, like, it's all good. It's all meant to be this way. And yeah, there's going to be a great expansion, and abundance will come to those that have done the work. So don't worry so much about not having enough. If you've done the work of clearing out your shadow self, or the program that held you in a limited consciousness, that your logical brain was only in charge and you never allowed your intuition to have a say, or your imagination to teach you how to carve a new path, then you're still going to have to deal with that. You're still going to have to pull those layers back to really see the core essence of who you are. And each and every single one of us has a piece of the puzzle. No one is more special, or everyone has their unique side. Some of us are just stepping forward first because we have that closer affinity to our intuition. That's all. But we are all source energy going on in a journey, and we have value. We have value for the adventure that we're going on. So it's so important to remember that within yourself, that no one is more higher, or never, and in these higher frequencies, no one is seen as more higher or more special. We are all extremely special just to be present in this body, in this moment, and be here at this moment, and that is enough. So please remember that, because it's important for you to remember that. No matter what your journey has been on, how dark you went, how deep you went, whatever, it was all relevant to you feeling euphoria when you come into balance, and the blessing that gives is source energy, accepting that as well. So you have great value, and even if it was just to be the observer, to just watch this, to just be involved in the fun of it all, and not really step out or stand up out, it doesn't matter. That is so important for source energy. You wouldn't be here otherwise. So please take back your importance of your journey and the value of who you are. That is going to bring you more so into the core of connecting to source energy as love itself. And that's what shifts everything, because when you reach yourself at the core level of love, you can then say, this is what I want to experience next. I'm taking the reins and I'm carving the new path, and my imagination has this held in it, and I want to go there because I'm passionate about it. My heart is passionate about it. So yeah, the journey that we're taking is awakening many, many different species, and not just awakening humans. How cool is that? How special are we to have that? It is special and it's beautiful, and it makes me feel very excited for the future, and blessed to be here. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy that you guys are here with me in the chat bar and watching me now, and we'll see where this flows, right? See where this goes after this, but it's going to get more and more exciting as more and more of us start to wake up and understand who we are, and the value of ourselves is way more than just what logic holds. And we are never to dismiss the journey that we went on through the logical brain being in charge. It gave us a greater scope on how self-consuming it can be as well when we reach that point of real imbalance. But humanity has two sides to their brain, right? We have that two hemispheres, and it's when those hemispheres are in balance that we can then connect to the pineal gland. Okay, I will leave it here, I think, guys. Don't forget, I do free chat bar readings just for fun. We play with the tarot on Tuesday if you want to be involved in that. I also do intuitive readings. You can go down on my link, Codes to a New Reality, and book me if you want a one-on-one. Yeah, exciting time, guys, and thank you so much for being part of this journey. I'm really, really grateful. So until I'll see what happens over the weekend and whether I want to come back and do another channeling. I'm going to go with the flow if they come through, because I'm finding that I'm getting a lot more messages at the moment. If they come through, I'm going to follow that. So it could be another channel message in the weekend, or just see me on Jeff Manners anyway. And also Monday is my class, Monday the 1st of May. You can book that now if you want. And that's at 7 a.m. in the morning, Australian AEST time, Brisbane time. And other than that, I'll see you on Tuesday live for a new tarot fun play. Love you guys heaps. Bye.